Bobby Valentine becomes a Major League manager, but the Rangers still lose. In the National League, Bruce Sutter comes a cropper against the Cubs as the Braves fall at home in the ninth.
The big race comes closer from Indianapolis. We'll have the latest from the Brickyard, and we'll have a closer look at the NBA's classic rivalry between the Celtics and the 76ers.
As the Preakness approaches, Sharon Smith has more on the favorite and Friday night action in the USFL from the shadow of Disney World, and we'll have plenty of other football news as well. Hello once again, everybody. Welcome back to the ESPN Sportscenter. Along with Greg Gumbel, I'm Chris Berman.
And we have plenty to tell you about over the next 30 minutes, but first and foremost on this Friday evening is the National Basketball Association. And with that and more, let's take you upstairs to the Sportscenter newsroom and Gayle Gardner. Gayle?
Thank you, Greg. Hello, everybody. Game 3 of the Western Conference Final between the Lakers and the Nuggets at McNichols Arena in Denver. The Lakers won Game 1 in a blowout, while the Nuggets came back to take Game 2, ending LA's 23-game winning streak at the Forum. Game 3 started tonight about 10 p.m. Eastern Time. After one quarter, it was the Lakers leading by 1. They led by 11 at the half, but now they have certainly opened up a bigger lead here in the third quarter. The lead up to 22 points at one point in the third now is 20 points. James Worthy with 20 first-half points, Calvin Nat with 21 first-half points. And it looks like the Lakers are rolling to take a 2-games-to-1 edge in that series. So once again, the score right now in the third quarter, the Lakers leading the Denver Nuggets by the score of 106-86. Meanwhile, in baseball news, as expected, the St. Louis Cards have sent outfielder Lonnie Smith to the Kansas City Royals for minor league outfielder John Morris, their #1 draft pick back in 1982. Smith, at 29, is a lifetime .289 hitter in 5 full Major League seasons. He became expendable in St. Louis due to the success of rookie outfielder Vince Coleman, who leads the majors in stolen bases. Royals manager Dick Hauser said he is looking at Smith as an everyday player, either in left field or as a DH. Meanwhile, in Morris, the Cards get a 24-year-old outfielder in his 4th minor league season. He's the former Southern League MVP back in 1983. Meanwhile, in American League Baseball action on Friday night in Milwaukee, the Brewers and the Kansas City Royals, Lonnie Smith's new team, although he is only due to report on Saturday. Take a look at the score in that game. It was the Royals defeating the Brewers by the score of 3-0 as Brett Saberhagen tosses a 2-hitter. He faced only the minimum of 27 batters. Dane Orge with a solo homer, Jim Sundberg with 3 hits. He also scored 2 runs. So Saberhagen gets the win, and Danny Darwin takes the loss. Elsewhere, Toronto and Minnesota, the Twins coming up with 5 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning to tie this game, send it to extra innings. They're now in the 10th, tied up at 6 apiece. It was Steve and Viola, the starters in that game. Dave Steve had a leave in the 8th inning when he came up with a stiff shoulder. Lavelle and Filson are the pitchers of record in there right now. Meanwhile, in Cleveland, Roger Clemens tosses a 5-hitter. He struck out 10. The Red Sox blanked the Indians by the score of 5-0, snapping a 5-game losing streak. It was the Indians' 5th straight loss. Wade Boggs with 3 singles, 1 RBI in that game. Jim Rice, 2 hits and 1 RBI. Clemens getting the win. He is now 4-4 on the season, and Bert Blyleven taking the loss. He is 2-4. Elsewhere, the Yankees and the California Angels, and the Yanks leading by the score of 1-0 that game in the 5th inning. Phil Niekro and Mike Witt, the starters in that game. The only run scoring when Don Mattingly singled in Willie Randolph in the 4th inning. Meanwhile, Baltimore playing at Seattle. The Orioles leading in that game by the score of 7-1. Dixon and Young, the starters there. Barojas has replaced Young. Fritz Connolly with a grand slam, his 2nd career grand slam. Eddie Murray with a solo homer, and Jack Percani with the only run for Seattle, a homer for him, his 1st career homer in 990 Major League at-bats. Meanwhile, Detroit playing at Oakland, and the Tigers leading big in this game by the score of 7-0 in the 4th inning. Jack Morris and Don Sutton were the starters. Warren is in there now replacing Sutton. So the Tigers leading big by the score of 7-0. It was also Bobby Valentine's first game as manager of the Texas Rangers. For that, let's go back to the studio and Chris and Greg.
Okay, Gayle, thank you very much. And yes, after all the innuendo and the rumors, Doug Rader was out. Bobby Valentine was in as manager of the Texas Rangers, and Valentine found out that turning the Rangers' fortunes around overnight will not be an easy task. Once again, they played hard, but that isn't good enough with the worst record in baseball, and they lost at Chicago, the White Sox winning it 4-2. And there he is, the youngest manager in the major leagues, Bobby Valentine, already getting gray hairs in his first game as manager. And his team scores first in the game in the top of the 3rd, Buddy Bell. When will he ever get a chance to play with a winner? Singles up the middle off Rich Dotson, but in the 4th, Boom! Bottom of the fourth, 3-run shot. Well, there it goes. A 3-run homer, upper deck job by Carlton Fisk. And the Chi Sox lead it 3-1. Top of the fifth, Tommy Dunbar cranks this pitch by Rich 280Z Dotson. Back, gets out of here. It's a 3-2 Chicago lead. But with the Rangers threatening in the seventh, Dunbar will ground to second. Tim Hewlett to Ozzie Guillen. Over to first. Dunbar, kind of a unique slide over to first base. Actually gets hurt. Valentine getting gray whiskers, I guess, there. Now Dunbar later luckily found out only a sprained ankle, but he was carried from the field as Chicago beat Texas 4-2 as Dotson gets the win. Dickie Knowles the loss. By the way, Carlton Fisk's homer is 237th. That puts him now into fourth place on the all-time home run list by catchers. Johnny Bench has the lead. Yogi Berra is second, and Roy Campanella is third. But Fisk now in fourth all by his lonesome, breaking the tie with Gabby Hartnett.
You could watch Little League Baseball all your life and never see a worse slide than that. With Bobby Valentine at the helm, the Texas Rangers get not only the youngest manager in baseball at age 35, but the least experienced. It obviously doesn't bother either Valentine or the Rangers. Both feel he can do the job in time. At a news conference in Chicago just before he went out to manage his first game with the Rangers, Valentine revealed his very simple philosophy.
I deal with people. I think ultimately baseball is a people business. Sure, there's statistics and there's large contracts, but there's 25 men who are put together, and they're put together to perform their job and do it to the best of their ability. My human characteristics, my humanistic approach to people, I think will help me get that out of them. As far as the technical skills, I don't think there's a better teacher of the game of baseball than me. The talent is here to win the American League West. There's a little bit of a handicap right now with the record, but if this was a 50-game schedule, I'd be a lot more worried than I am with 162 games to play.
Meanwhile, the New York Mets will replace Valentine in the third base coach's box with Bud Harrelson, 13 years a shortstop with the Mets. The 40-year-old Harrelson was managing the Mets Class A team in Columbia of the South Atlantic League. Elsewhere in baseball, the Chicago Cubs jumped all over a guy you're not supposed to jump all over. We will have National League scores and highlights when Chris and I continue here in the Sports Center in just a moment.
What do you call a charcoal that doesn't need lighter fluid? Convenient.
Matchlight charcoal. What could be more convenient?
Tomorrow, we'll prove we're the total sports source. Championship horse show jumping starts our day with the prestige of the U.S. Open. High-class action continues with the second round of the United Hospitals Classic. It's PGA Seniors Golf at its best. All this and live football tomorrow.
You know what I don't like about dandruff? Dandruff shampoos. I'm afraid they won't leave my hair the way I like it. This shampoo cares for my hair. It's the only one with a self-balancing formula. Puts dandruff protection where I need it, on my scalp, not on my hair, and it conditions where I need it. Leaves my hair looking and feeling good. Yeah, my shampoo's a dandruff shampoo, but it's today's Head and Shoulders, and it cares for my hair.
When you've got your body going, we've got the shoes. Foot Locker, get it right for your body. All the shoes that fit your body, come to the stripes. Foot Locker, get it right for your body. Get fit by the pros, the expert who knows the shoes that are best
for people who are serious.
Get it right for your body, come to the stripes. Foot Locker, come to the stripes.
Give me a light. Bud Light.
If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
Give me a light. Bud Light. Hold this, will you?
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Give me a light.
Ask them to bring out their best.
Bud Light!
Bud Light, because everything else is just a light.
Strike.
Let me tell you something about the San Francisco Giants. If they could hit this year, they'd be over 500. Once again, they get a good pitching performance from starter Dave Don't LaPointe, but he serves up one home run. They go into extra innings, and, I mean, they just can't hit the ball. So sooner or later, they're going to lose, and they did it. The Mets in New York, 3-2. in 12 innings. Now, here we go. Top of the first, no score. Giants on a hit and run. Dan Mann from Gladden going to take off on the shot by Manny Kingston trio. Mookie Wilson, I guess, has a little problem out there. You score at E8 at home. Gladden scores 1-0 in the first. Mets avoid the big inning, though. Here's the shot. Nailed by Keith Hernandez on the base knock by Chili Davis. They throw to the pitcher in time. Then Chris Brown up. The little looper down the right field line, and this is why Hernandez wins Gold Glove after Gold Glove. So he keeps the Giants at bay, only getting 1 run. Now here's that home run in the 7th inning. Ray, I dub thee night. 2-run homer off of Dave Don't LaPointe. We are tied at 2, and we go all the way to the bottom of the 12th. Scott Geraltz is pitching. Wally Backman is on base. Gary Carter, line shot to right center field. Wally, you ain't seen nothing yet. Backman scores the winning run, an unearned run at that, because he got on an error, but the Mets win it just the same. They're 4-0 in extra inning games. They win it by the score of 3-2. Nice relief work by Roger McDowell again.
Well, this won't happen too often this season. Friday night in Atlanta, the man recruited to save games for the Atlanta Braves lost one instead. Bruce Sutter came on in the 9th inning to hold a 5-4 Atlanta lead, but the Chicago Cubs jumped on him for 4 hits and 3 runs to rally for the 7-5 win. Cubs got it started with 3 runs in the 2nd inning, 2 of them coming in on Bobby Dernier's base hit into left field off Len Barker. A couple of runs come home, and the Cubs lead it by a score of 3-zip. But the Braves rallied with 3 of their own in the 6th to even the score. Terry Harper, 2 for 4 on the night, base hit into left field. Dale Murphy going to race the throw home. The throw is terrible. It's a 3-3 tie. Rick Kemp, shaky outing on in relief. 2 outs, bases loaded in the 7th. Jody Davis don't bother to swing. Wild pitch. Ryan Sandberg scores. Cubs lead at 4-3. But again, Atlanta on the comeback. 2 out in the 8th. Score tied at 4. Claudell Washington, a drive to right off reliever Lee Smith. Ken Oberkfell scores. Gerald Perry, yeah, he's going to give it a try. Here comes the relay. You make the call. No trouble. He's out. 5-4 Braves lead it. Bruce Sutter called on to save it in the 9th. Bases loaded, 1 out. He gets that forkball up high, and Jody Davis with a drive into left center field. That'll be good for 2 runs. Good enough for the Cubs to win it 7-5. Bruce Sutter suffers his first loss of this season. He is 2-1 on the year. Lee Smith, the winner. He is 1-0. Chicago's record on the year now 20-11. Well, things haven't been going well lately for the Montreal Expos, mired in a 4-game losing streak. The Expos jumped back into winning form at home on Friday night with an extra inning 2-1 win over the San Diego Padres. Bottom of the 1st inning, runners at 1st and 2nd, 2 out for the Expos, and Tim Wallach gets it started with a base hit to left off Eric Shaw. UL Washington scores from 2nd, and the Expos lead it by 1. Stayed that way until the 6th when the Padres tied it up. Steve Garvey goes the other way. Base hit off David Palmer to right field. Tony Gwynn trots home from 3rd to tie the game at 1. Went all the way to the 10th inning. Runners at 1st and 3rd, 2 out. Tony Gwynn with a shot to deep center off Jeff Reardon. Herm Winningham going, and makes the nice catch. 1-1 tie, bottom of the 10th, 1st and 2nd, 1 out. Tim Stoddard on the mound, and Andre Dawson finds the gap in left center field. Tim Raines will come around to score the gamer. Expos win it by a score of 2-1 in 10 innings. Reardon gets the win, 2-0. Stoddard, the loser, 0-2 on the year. Elsewhere in the National League, at Philadelphia, look at Philly. 10 runs, 12 hits, not bad for a team that had lost 9 of its previous 10 games. Von Hayes and Juan Samuel each had a 2-run homer as the Phillies beat the Dodgers 10-5. Kevin Gross, the winner, struck out 10 Dodgers in this game, and that is a career best for Kevin Gross.
Greg, at home in the Astrodome, the Houston Astros just 1 out away from wrapping things up against the St. Louis Cards. Surprise, the Cards get 3 in the 9th and win the game 8-6. Astros were trailing 1-0 in the bottom of the 1st, but not for long. Danny Cox pitches. Got it! Phil Garner. Back, a 2-run homer, and the Astros will score 4 times in the 1st. They lead it 4-1. So the Cards now trailing by 5 in the 4th. What do? They come up with 4 runs. 2 of them on this shot down the right field line by Tom Nieto. And the Astros lead is paired to 6-5. Bottom of the 8th, though, the Astros looking for insurance. Alan Ashby is up. The base hit to left field. Jose, can you see Cruz around 3rd? Vince Coleman in to throw. You make the call. Again, not close. You again. Now, Jeff Calhoun can't close it out. Dave Smith is on now. 2 out in the 9th. Jack Clark on the 2-2 pitch. Base hit to left field. Me and Willie McGee comes in to score. We're tied at 6. Next man up is Andy Van Slyke, and the little broken bat, sawed-off job that plunks into center field. 5 straight hits by the Cards give them the 8-6 win. That Tommy Ben-Hur coming around to score the winning run as the Cards beat the Astros by a score of 8-6, despite Poole and Mumphrey homers for Houston. Clark, by the way, hit his 8th homer of the year for the Cardinals. And Cincinnati at Pittsburgh, they waited over 2 hours with a rain delay. John Stupor was throwing BBs, though. Dave Parker had a 2-run homer as he returns to Pittsburgh, and the Reds led this one very early. Next, the latest from Indianapolis 500 and Thoroughbred Racing's middle jewel in the Triple Crown. Stay with us.
100 rolls of film. They're yours free with a remarkable new 35mm camera, the Spectra Super 2. No focusing, just aim and shoot. Set it once and take perfect pictures anywhere, even indoors. The Spectra Super 2 comes complete with an electronic flash, an optical glass 50mm lens, plus a radial zoom lens for creative effects like this. And look, it even comes with this professional 4-foot tripod for clear, steady pictures. Spectra Super 2 is a complete camera outfit for only $49.95. But hold on, you also get certificates for 100 rolls of Konica film absolutely free. It's the greatest camera value ever. Have your credit card ready and call now for rush delivery. Here's how to order.
Use your credit card to order. Call toll-free 1-800-255-2000 or send check or money order for $49.95 plus $5 shipping and handling to Spectra Super 2. P.O. Box 3500, Department ESPN, West Caldwell, New Jersey.
The Indianapolis Motor Speedway comes alive again this weekend as drivers vie for the final available spots in the Indy 500 starting lineup. Final qualifications take place Saturday and Sunday. Larry Newber reports from Indy.
After 4 days of relative silence when only qualified cars were making noise, speed has reawakened at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and none too soon. Friday was supposed to be the fastest practice day for those not already in the show, but it dawned with rain, and what was accomplished on Thursday probably will just have to do. Since last weekend's 2 qualifying days, hardly anyone could go faster than 200, except those already in the race. John Paul Jr. picked up Herm Johnson's crew chief and finally agonized past 200. This is the team Willie T. Ribbs abandoned. Pittsburgh's Chip Ganassi came without a ride, but suddenly goes 2:03.5 in A.J. Foyt's number 84 that George Schneider usually inherits. Tony Bettenhausen's friends have purchased Tom Sneva's backup Lola, still painted like the Gurney Skoll car, but he has yet to see the big 200. Johnny Parsons Jr., after an agonizing wait, has replaced Jacques Villeneuve in the Canadian Tire 76. He's a late fast, as always, 2:06. Last weekend, Scotsman Jim Crawford had eased into the field only to be disqualified with an underweight car. Canadian Tire has worked out a deal with Crawford's owners, and he has another shot in one of their backups. Ireland's Derek Daly may be gridded, but he's on the infamous bubble. He's ready, though. His second-string car races 2:06. Third or fourth best of those still waiting in the qualifying line. Mike Nish, Raul Bazell, Phil Kruger, Tom Bigelow, Dennis Firestone, among those trying but falling short so far. 2 days of qualifying remain, and it looks like you'll need 2:04 to get in or watch the Indianapolis 500 from the stands. For SportsCenter, this is Larry Newber.
When they run the 110th edition of the Preakness Saturday at Pimlico, the same colt who was favored in the Derby will be favored again. However, as Sharon Smith reports, Chiefs Crown's handlers are positive that this time around the favorite status will be justified.
Chiefs Crown has been installed as the 8-5 morning line favorite in the Preakness, similar odds to those he enjoyed in the Kentucky Derby. Before the Derby, a lot of people were talking about him as one of the best 3-year-olds in years and a potential Triple Crown winner. Now those people are talking about Derby winner Spendebuck, who will forego a Triple Crown shot. Chiefs Crown's co-owner Andrew Rosen is determined not to be disappointed in the Star Crown stable colt or to concede championship honors to Spendebuck.
Well, you know, the Preakness is still a classic race, and just as long as it doesn't end up like the Derby, everything is going to be terrific.
A lot of people are looking at him differently. We almost thought he was invincible going into the Derby, but that attitude isn't there anymore.
Well, you know, horses, like people, have their days, and I think we're going to see a different horse in the Preakness than we saw in the Derby.
There were possible reasons for Chiefs Crown's Derby disappointment. His pounding stride was totally unsuited to the hard track. He'd had a very fast race just 9 days before. But his trainer and owners were careful not to make excuses.
I don't think there was any excuses. I mean, Spendebuck ran a great race, and you can't take that away from him. And I just think that Chiefs Crown has got better races ahead of him.
As versatile as Chief's Crown is, there is apparently one thing he's vulnerable to, and that is a fast horse getting off to a big early lead. It happened to him in the Kentucky Derby with Spendebuck, and there's a horse in the Preakness with that potential, and it's Eternal Prince. But the Star Crown stable remains confident that their colt can return to the top of the 3-year-old crop with a victory in the Preakness. At Pimlico Racecourse in Maryland, I'm Sharon Smith, ESPN.
Thank you, Sharon. And, of course, you know Spendebuck, the Derby winner, will not be there. He'll be running in the Jersey Derby looking for his $2 million bonus purse if he wins it, and we'll have it for you live. That's Memorial Day, Monday, May 27th, here at ESPN, 3:30 Eastern Time, 12:30 on the West Coast, right here on ESPN.
The Celtics and the 76ers, one of the best, if not the best, rivalries in all of sports. Tom Mees with part one of his two-part report when the Sports Center continues in just a moment.
Nothing to do? You're bored and you're blue? Hey, look inside that TV guide. There's something wonderful, wonderful waiting just for you.
You'll find something wonderful waiting for you, too, inside each and every issue of TV Guide. TV Guide opens the door to a whole week's worth of viewing pleasure, to the great shows, the great games, the great movies everyone will be talking about tomorrow.
So don't miss out. Right now, call and get TV Guide delivered to your home each week at a money-saving subscription price with 3 full months to pay.
Yes, if you call now, you can get 30 exciting issues of TV Guide in 3 easy monthly payments of just $5.75 each. That's the lowest price going.
Then each week, you too can enjoy lively coverage of the TV scene and the TV screen, thanks to exclusive interviews, features, and special reports you'll find only in TV Guide.
You'll enjoy the news, the views, the gossip, and the games. But most of all, you'll appreciate how TV Guide helps you help yourself to the best that television has to offer on local, network, cable, and pay TV.
With fact-packed program listings, highlights and close-ups, and quick-scan program guides, plus special calendars for sports fans, and a catalog of movies on pay TV.
So right now, call 800-445-4500. Toll free, 800-445-4500. Enjoy the luxury of having 30 weeks of TV Guide home delivered and the convenience of paying in 3 low monthly installments of just $5.75 each.
That's the lowest price going.
800-445-4500. Send no money, you'll be billed later. But call today. 800-445-4500. TV Guide pays for the call. 800-445-4500.
Call today.
In the NBA, there is simply no rivalry better than the one between the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers. It easily spans a quarter century, and to this day it remains the topic of so much heated debate. How did it begin? Tom Mees tells us in this first part of a two-part series.
Boston and Philadelphia, one of sports' most intense rivalries. In the 1960s, the matchup featured 2 of the best big men ever to play the game, Wilt Chamberlain of Philadelphia and Bill Russell of the Boston Celtics. Chamberlain and Russell met in the Eastern Division Finals 6 times between 1960 and 1968, with the Celtics coming out on top in 5 of those 6 meetings. Russell versus Chamberlain, and the rivalry was born.
That's when it started, really, because they had these 2 titans. Chamberlain with the power of a giant among giants, and then you had Bill Russell, the finesse, quick, brilliant, great center. And we were fortunate enough that we beat him most of the time.
It started off because of the matchup between Chamberlain and Russell. I think that was the #1 thing. And then you had Boston, Philadelphia, the rest of us competing against each other. But, you know, that rivalry, I think, made basketball.
Wilt was coordinated to the highest degree. And he did practically what he wanted to do. And his opponent, Bill Russell, a standout star, he was a team player. And that's your result. The banners are hanging up in Boston, and we have 1 banner to show for it.
15 championship banners hang from the Boston Garden rafters, 7 of them coming at the expense of Philadelphia in the Eastern Finals. The Celtics won 10 titles in 11 years. The lone exception, 1967, when they lost to a Sixer team voted the best in NBA history. One of the most memorable moments in this Boston-Philly rivalry occurred in the final seconds of Game 7 in 1965, right here in the Boston Garden.
Greer's putting the ball on a play. He gets it out deep, and Havlicek steals it over to Stan Jones. Havlicek stole the ball. It's all over. It's all over. Johnny Havlicek is being mobbed by the fans. It's all over. Johnny Havlicek stole the ball.
The game was on the balance. The dynasty was on the balance. You know, I mean, really, everything was right there. And so when Havlicek did steal the ball, you know, I exploded emotionally, and I kept saying it over and over again. Havlicek stole the ball. It's all over. It's all over.
The rivalry cooled in the late 60s when Chamberlain was traded and Russell retired. But it heated up again 10 years later with Julius Erving and Larry Bird as the main attractions. Tomorrow night, we'll look at the renewal of the rivalry in part 2 of this Tale of Two Cities. I'm Tom Mees, ESPN.
In golf, a couple of relative unknowns making a name for themselves on Friday. On the PGA Tour, second-year pro Corey Pavin carved out a 64 in Friday's second round of the Colonial National Invitational. Put that with his opening round 66, a course and tournament record 10 under par 130, good for a 4-shot lead over Mark O'Meara. Rosie Jones, a fourth-year LPGA pro who's never won a tournament, made big noise at the LPGA Chrysler Plymouth Charity Classic. Round 1 on Friday, she set a course record with a 7 under par 66. She has a 3-shot lead after one round. Friday's opening round of the United Hospital Seniors Tourney near Philadelphia rained out. The 54-hole tourney has now been rescheduled as a 2-round, 36-hole event. You can catch it all here on ESPN. We'll carry live action Saturday at 3 Eastern Time and on Sunday at 1:30 Eastern Time.
In tennis, they are down now to the semifinalists on the hot clay courts in Rome at the Italian Open. Number 1 seed Mats Wilander, a straight sets winner over Henrik Sundstrom. Number 9, Yannick Noah, despite a pulled muscle, defeated Jose Luis Cler in straight sets. 17-year-old West German Boris Becker hasn't dropped a set in the tournament, beat Jan Gunnarsson in straight sets. And Miroslav Don't Call Me Bill Messier beat Claudio Mazzadri 6-1 and 6-2. So the semifinal matchups on Saturday, Wilander and Messier, and Yannick Noah, if he's okay, will go against Boris Becker. Next up on the Sports Center, football doings, but first, a check at Friday night's Mizzle playoff score.
Saturday, ESPN has the best sports action on television. It starts with a blue fishing expedition off Martha's Vineyard on the Saltwater Journal. Then live PGA golf. It's the second round of the $200,000 United Hospital Seniors Classic featuring the game's greatest names. Later, we'll turn the Memphis Showboats loose on the Tampa Bay Bandits in a live USFL rematch. It's exclusive coverage of the league's best teams. Live football, golf, and more Saturday.
Look how water can destroy unprotected wood, but not if it's protected with Thompson's Water Seal. Use Thompson's Water Seal waterproofer on dozens of surfaces. Brush on Thompson's for an invisible barrier that helps prevent water from entering and damaging brick, wood, and concrete. Your house isn't really protected until it's protected with Thompson's Water Seal. Many stores now have special values on Thompson's Water Seal.
Jack Reynolds was once one of the NFL's best middle linebackers, but now it has appeared as if he has reached the end of the line. He and the San Francisco 49ers have parted company, and while the 15-year veteran may catch on with Seattle, he may pursue interests in the world of show business instead. Now, Hacksaw gained notoriety during his 11-year stint with the Rams, but when the Niners acquired him in '81, it proved to be one of their most important on the road to winning the Super Bowl. Hacksaw was never more prominent in a Niners uniform than he was here in the now famous third-quarter goal line stand in Super Bowl 16 against the Bengals. Reynolds and company held the Bengals out of the end zone on 4 cracks from inside the 3, preserving a 20-7 lead and ensuring the win. He made the Pro Bowl that year and 1 year earlier with the Rams, but he hardly played last year in the Super Bowl. You knew that he was on his way out.
Meanwhile, in USFL action, somebody likes the Orlando Renegades, but none of them in the scheduling area. Orlando played on Monday night. They come back 4 days later, start like a house of fire, burned out at the end. Baltimore wins at 34-21. Big game in the Eastern Conference coming up Saturday night on ESPN. The Memphis Showboats, 7-5 on the year, travel to Tampa to play the conference-leading Tampa Bay Bandits, who are 9-3, owners of the best record in the USFL. Game time is 8 Eastern Time, live Saturday night here on ESPN. That'll do it for this edition of the Sports Center. For Gayle Gardner in the Sports Center's newsroom, I'm Greg Gumbel.
I'm Chris Berman. Have a good weekend. Have a good weekend, Gayle, and have a good weekend out there, everybody. Have a